That's gonna read one.
I just want to go poop, but bro, we're going to there now. That's all the snow.
You're out. Just don't imagine. And then child, you make a mistake at the first. Saw this story that we can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
كويس يا مرزوق يرفع.
He's right next to me.
I can't see him. This is Tahmid, isn't it?
He's on the other side.
He's not in the frame.
Oh, where is he? Let me see him. Come and sit where I can see you, Marzuq.
The camera's not big enough. What is moving the table gonna do?
Yeah, at least there is this space. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, adjust here, Marzuq.
That's all.
Are you guys going to training today?
No.
All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, sallallahu wa sallam.
It's actually not coming back.
على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Hanif, can you hear us?
Yes,
Are you with Farid?
yes.
All right. Pay attention, okay? وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise is due to Allah, His peace and compassion, and His peace and compassion be upon the soul of our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, inshallah, today we are going to move to a new chapter, and which is under the topic Al-Hayatu Al-Yawmiyya. Al-Hayatu Al-Yawmiyya. Al-Haya means what? Who knows the meaning of Al-Haya?
The life.
Al-Haya, the life. Yeah. So Al-Haya, like we have here, the life. And Al-Yawm is the day, right?
A day in the life.
The day. So Al-Haya, the life, and Al-Yawm, the day. Now, Al-Yawm coming as Al-Yawmiyya now represents an adjective noun. So this here means the daily life. Huh?
Of course.
Are you with me, everyone?
Yes.
So Al-Hayatu Al-Yawmiyya, the daily life. Al-Hayatu Al-Usbu'iyya, weekly. Usbu'iyya, that is weekly. Okay? So when we say Sanawiyya, what would that mean now?
Yearly.
Yearly. From Sana, year. When we say Shahriyya,
Monthly.
monthly. So Shahr is a month, and so this ta al-marbuta is coming here because the noun, this adjective is qualifying, is a mu'annath. Are you with me?
Yes.
Of course.
If it is not mu'annath, or if it is mudhakkar, the sifa, the adjective is not going to come as al-yawmiyya. It's going to come as what, everyone? Remove this ta marbuta.
Al-Yawmi.
Al-yawmi. Al-yawmi. So we have for example, al-amal al-yawmi, daily work, the daily activity, or an-nashatu al-yawmi, and we have النشاط اليومي. Nashat is an activity. All right. So when we have النشاط اليومي, that is going to be daily activity. All right. So weekly activity is going to be النشاط الأسبوعي. Are you with me?
Yes.
And yearly activity is going to be what? النشاط what?
السنية.
السنوي. السنوي. Okay, because النشاط is مذكر. So النشاط السنوي, and monthly activity is going to be النشاط الشهري. النشاط الشهري. النشاط الشهري. So is that clear now, everyone?
Yes.
All right. So this chapter is going to concentrate on al-hayatu al-yawmiyya. What do we call al-hayatu al-yawmiyya again, everyone?
Daily life.
Daily life. The daily life. Mostly the daily life activities. So al-hayatu al-yawmiyya. What do we do on a daily life and that? So as you can see, sleep. This represents we sleep. This eat, and this also pray. Of course, if there is something everybody share together, if there is something we all do in common, then these three things. It's impossible for you not to do any of these three things a day. Salah, eating, and sleeping, except if you are a female, at some period you might be excused from Salah. However, on a general note, these are things we all share commonly every day. So we have a conversation between Tariq and Tahir. Between Tariq and Tahir. Now I want Tahmid to be Tariq and Marzuq to be Tahir. Bismillah, the both of you.
متى تستيقظ؟
أستيقظ عند الفجر.
أين تصلي الفجر؟
أصلي الفجر في المسجد.
هل تنام بعد الصلاة؟
لا أنام بعد الصلاة.
ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة؟
أقرأ القرآن.
ومتى تذهب إلى المدرسة؟
أذهب الساعة 7.
هل تذهب بالسيارة؟
لا أذهب بالحافلة.
نعم. Can Hanif and Farid hear us?
Yeah. نعم.
Hanif and Farid. Hanif should be Tariq and Farid should be Tahir. Bismillah, read.
متى تستيقظ؟ طاهر.
أستيقظ عند الفجر.
Yeah.
أين تصلي الفجر؟
أصلي الفجر في المسجد.
هل تنام بعد الصلاة؟
لا أنام بعد الصلاة.
ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة؟
أقرأ القرآن.
ومتى تذهب إلى المدرسة؟
أذهب الساعة 7.
هل تذهب بالسيارة؟
لا أذهب بالحافلة.
لا أذهب بالحافلة. All right. We have conversation between Tariq and Tahir. And Tariq is asking, متى تستيقظ?
What time
In the
did you
past, we have taken. What did he say?
What time did you wake up?
So, in the past, we have taken questioning letters, such as what? Kam is what?
How many?
How many or how much? Who can remind us of the ruling of the word that comes after kam?
It's singular.
And mansur, right? Now we have learned mada, which is what, everyone?
What?
What? And we have learned man. Man is what?
Who? Or which?
Who? And so on and so forth. Man, so and so on and so forth. Now, meta tastayqidu. Meta is when, right? Meta tastayqidu. Tastayqidu comes from the verb istayqada. 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 He woke up. All right? He woke up. If I want to use he is, like the present tense is waking up, what do I say?
Yastayqidu.
Huh?
Yastayqidu.
Yastayqidu. So he wakes up. Yastayqidu, he wakes up. So now, tastayqidu, you wake up. Oh, and that is what we have here. Tastayqidu, you wake up. So meta, we have when, and tastayqidu, you wake up. So when these two things are by each other now, we know that what the questioner is asking is trying to ask is what? When do you wake up? Mata tastayqidu. That's a question. Now we said yastayqidu, he wakes up. Tastayqidu, you wake up. Astayqidu means what now, everybody?
I wake up.
I wake up. I wake up. You know, we have said that we have حروف المضارعة. We have anaytu. Anaytu. We have alif. We have nun. We have ta. And we have ya. So for a present tense in Arabic, when alif starts it, okay, that is what? First person. That is first person. I. When noon starts, that is what? That is we. And when ta starts, that is you. And then when ya start, that is what? E. Okay. And also, when ta also starts, it could be she. Yeah. So now, so astayqidu, I wake up. So astayqidu inda al-fajr. Inda linguistically means what? With. All right. With. However, it can fit into other thing which like at and so on and so forth. So at or by. So when you say in there, you can use it to mean with, by, at, and so on, depending on the context. So astayqidu, I wake up in the al-fajr. So which I wake up fajr. So which meaning would in the serve here, everyone, according to English?
At.
Or I wake up by fajr. Does that go to? Huh?
Yes.
I wake up at fajr, or I wake up by fajr time. So astayqidu in the fajr. So we have another question. So mata tastayqidu, when do you wake up? Astayqidu in the fajr. Or if you wake up by dhuhr, astayqidu in the dhuhr. Astayqidu in the dhuhr. Mata tastayqidu? Astayqidu fi nahar. You can also use fi here. أستيقظ في الفجر. أستيقظ في الليل. I wake up in the night. أستيقظ في الصباح. I wake up in the morning. And so on and so forth. So if we want to use time, for example, now Fajr, let's say Fajr is like 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock now. So time, number one, we say as-sa'atu is what we call as-sa'atu could means clock. It could mean hour, and it could mean time as well. And also in a broader context, it could mean day of judgment, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
So as-sa'atu means time. So if you want to say like in Arabic, you say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. The way we express it is saying as-sa'atu. As-sa'atu, 1 o'clock is as-sa'atu al-wahida. All right. 2 o'clock as-sa'atu al-thaniya. Are you following me, everyone? 3 o'clock going to be what? Sa'atu thalitha. 4 o'clock is going to be what? 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock. As-sa'atu sabi'a. And 8 o'clock. Thamina. And 9 o'clock. As-sa'atu tasi'a. And 10 o'clock. As-sa'atu al-ashira. And 11 o'clock is going to be as-sa'atu al-hadiyatu ashar. Right? And 12 o'clock as-sa'atu al-thaniyatu ashar. Is that clear? Are you with me, everyone?
Yes.
So, as-sa'atu few seconds, please. So, as-sa'atu al-ashira, 11 o'clock, as-sa'atu al-hadiyata ashara, and as-sa'atu al-khamisata ashara. Sorry, al-thaniyata ashara, 12 o'clock. So, that's how we express time in Arabic language, okay? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and so on and so forth. So, if you wanted to say astayqidu, I wake up by 5 o'clock. So what do you say now? Astayqidu. Who can say that?
What was the question?
I wake up by 5 o'clock. In the sa'ati. Now, inda here is going to make as-sa'atik majrur. Okay? Because inda is harfu jar. As we can see here, astayqidu inda al-fajri. The reason why this al-fajr is majrur is what? Is because it is preceded by inda, which is what? Harfu jar. Is this clear?
Yeah.
So if I want to, so now we already learned before that fi is harf jar, and also now we are learning inda as harf jar. So if I want to say I wake up by 5 o'clock, what do I say?
أستيقظ عند الساعة الخامسة.
Inda sa'ati al-khamisati. All right. Now, all right. So if I want to say I wake up by 12 o'clock, أستيقظ عند الساعة الثانية عشرة. I wake up by 11 o'clock. أستيقظ عند الساعة الحادية عشرة. All right. So you can also say أستيقظ الساعة العشرة ساعة الخامسة without using fi or عند. So by saying that, you are going to express as-sa'a as mansub. أستيقظ الساعة الخامسة. Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So أستيقظ الساعة الخامسة. So if you don't use any حرف جر, أستيقظ الساعة الخامسة. متى تستيقظ؟ أستيقظ الساعة الواحدة. متى تستيقظ؟ أستيقظ في الساعة الواحدة. أستيقظ عند الساعة الواحدة. Or أستيقظ الساعة الواحدة. Is that clear now, everyone? Anyone has a question?
No.
أين? I think we have came about this before. Aina is another questioning particle, which is where. Aina tusalli.
Bro.
Aina tusalli. Where did you pray? Where do you pray? Al-Fajr. Where do you pray Salatul Fajr? Is everyone with me? Is my voice clear, please?
That's your voice is extremely clear.
Where do you pray Salatul Fajr? Aina tusalli. Aina tusalli Salatul Fajr. Aina tusalli. Aina tusalli al-Fajr. Aina tusalli al-Fajr. Where do you pray what? Al-Fajr. Can anyone tell me why Al-Fajr here is mansub?
Because it's the no, it's the maf'ulun bihi. Yeah, that's the word.
Maf'ulun bihi. Good. It is because this is maf'ulun bihi. Who does not understand the concept of maf'ulun bihi? Is there anyone that does not understand the concept of maf'ulun bihi?
Is it not the first one?
No.
All right. So, أين تصلي الفجر. طاهر أصلي الفجر. أين تصلي الفجر؟ أصلي الفجر في المسجد. This is a clear meaning, which means what, everyone?
I pray Fajr and the masjid.
I pray Fajr in the masjid. I pray Fajr in the masjid. هل تنام? So we have nama, he slept. Okay. Yanamu, he sleeps. Tanamu, you sleep.
I have a
All right.
question.
Okay.
Instead of doing it this way, can you ask us if we know what it means and just explain the stuff we don't know, so we're not just repeating the same thing that we already know over and over?
Okay. So tanamu is from the verb what, everyone?
Yeah, no.
Nama. All right. هل تنام بعد الصلاة? This means what, everyone?
Prayer. Do you sleep after the prayer?
Do you pray? Do you sleep after salah too? After salah. So please, everyone, give me few minutes. I want to pray salat al-maghrib. Okay.
Okay.
Let's use this time as a break. So we won't have a break again.
Okay.
All right, everyone.
Okay.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Ó dà pé wọ́n ti mute. Àbọ̀dẹ̀ ti pa. They should come and let's continue.
Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi?
Wọ́n gbọ́ yín báyìí mà. Yes, ma.
Mo ti sọ.
Okay.
Wọ́n ti wọlé.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Fawaz.
Fawaz?
Yeah.
It's not here.
I think you must
Okay.
have.
Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, ma.
Ó ti lọ pè wọ́n láwọn ń bọ̀.
Ẹ ṣeun, ma.
Now you close the. When you were saying salam alaikum.
So I can.
Alaikum salam. I messaged you and called you, Irfan.
I wasn't holding my phone.
Where are the others?
They're coming.
All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. هل تنام بعد الصلاة? This means what, everyone?
Did you sleep after prayer?
Do you sleep after prayer? Anyone has a question on that?
No.
All right. لا أنام بعد الصلاة.
No, I do not sleep after prayer.
No, I do not sleep after prayer. Does anyone has a question on this? On anything here? No. ماذا تفعل? Because all of these sentences are things we have even gone through, likes of them. Just few differences are there. ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة?
What do you do?
This means what?
Prayer?
What do you do after prayer? So بعد is also an harf jar here, even though بعد is ظرف. بعد is ظرف زمان. However, it also serves as harf jar. Okay, so when something comes after بعد, it takes majrur, like you can see here. All right, everyone. بعد الصلاة. بعد الصلاة. All right. أقرأ القرآن, meaning what?
I read Quran.
I read Quran. أقرأ القرآن. And Quran here is what? مفعول به, and that is why it is mansub. ومتى تذهب إلى المدرسة, meaning what?
And when do you go to school?
And when do you go to school? أذهب الساعة السابعة. Everyone?
I go at 7
o'clock.
Farid, can you tell us the meaning of this? أذهب الساعة السابعة. Where is Farid?
I'm right here.
He's trying to read it.
What did you say, Farid? Farid, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, did you hear what he said?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what is the meaning of this? أذهب الساعة السابعة.
Um, he doesn't know. I don't know. I don't know.
What was he asking?
He was asking
What
this
does
one.
another side there?
Oh.
All right, Hanif.
Yeah,
Tell us.
I go at 7 o'clock.
I go to school. So he's asking متى تذهب. So أذهب is from the verb ذهب. ذهب, he went. يذهب, he goes. تذهب, you go. أذهب, I go. نذهب, we go. So أذهب, I go. الساعة السابعة. I broke this down to you the other time. Farid, what does الساعة السابعة means?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So أذهب الساعة السابعة is what now?
What did you say?
So أذهب الساعة السابعة now means what?
I go to school at 7 o'clock.
Go at 7 o'clock. All right. هل تذهب بالسيارة? Hanif, can you tell me the meaning of this?
What?
Huh?
Do you go by car?
هل تذهب بالسيارة? Do you go by car? And Farid is going to tell us the meaning of the answer. لا أذهب بالحافلة. Huh?
No, I took the bus.
No, I go by the bus. Barakallah fik. So أذهب is I go. I am going. I go. Present tense or present continuous. لا أذهب بالحافلة. No, I go by car. Okay. Now, Irfan, read all this to us and tell us the meaning while everybody follow.
Okay. متى تستيقظ? When do you wake up? أستيقظ عند الفجر. I wake up at Fajr time. أين تصلي الفجر? Where do you pray Fajr? أصلي الفجر في المسجد. I pray Fajr in the masjid. هل تنام بعد الصلاة? Do you go to sleep after Fajr? لا أنام بعد الصلاة. No, I do not sleep after prayer. ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة? What do you do after the prayer? أقرأ القرآن. I read the Quran. ومتى تذهب إلى المدرسة? And when do you go to the school? أذهب الساعة السابعة. I go at 7 o'clock. هل تذهب بالسيارة? Do you go by the car? لا أذهب بالحافلة. No, I take the bus.
All right, thank you. So here we have the new words we have learned. ينام, he is sleeping. يستيقظ, he wakes up. ينام, he sleeps. يستيقظ, he wakes up. يذهب, he goes. الساعة السابعة, 7 o'clock. سيارة, car. حافلة, bus. مدرسة, school. All right. Now we have another conversation here. Tahmid and Farid. We have a conversation between Al-Um and Al-Ab. So Tahmid should take Al-Um and Farid should take Al-Ab.
There's more people in the conversation.
Oh, sorry. And we have Tariq and Fatima. Okay.
And Ahmed and Latifa and Al-Jad.
You should take Tariq and Irfan. Grandma should take Fatima. And Marzouk should take Ahmed. And remains who?
Hanif.
Hanif should take Latifa. And Irfan take Al-Jadda and Al-Jad. Bismillah.
Ahmed?
Yes.
Wait, can you say everybody's roles over again?
Where is Ahmed?
Farid's you're
No, he said that he's and I'm
okay,
Ab.
it doesn't matter.
That's good.
I'm Tariq, Marzuk is Ahmed, Hanif is Latifa, and then I'm Jadda and Jad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I only have one.
Yes, you only have one line. Alright.
هذا يوم العطلة.
هذا يوم العمل.
ماذا ستفعل يا طارق؟
سأكنس غرفة الجلوس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة؟
Watch out, Tamir.
Fatamatu sa usul goiru
Sa'akdusu.
saadusu goiru pata
Gurfata.
gufata nawami
Gurfata النوم. سأكنس غرفة النوم.
gufata naumun
نعم.
وماذا ستفعل يا أحمد؟
سأغسل الملابس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا لطيف؟
سأكوي الملابس.
الجدة والجد.
أنا سأغسل الأطباق وأنا سأقرأ القرآن.
All right, let's take it again.
هذا يوم المطلع.
هذا يوم العمل.
وماذا ستفعل يا طارق؟
I'm reading in Arabic or English.
You just said we should do it again.
سأكنس غرفة الجلوس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة؟
Fatomata sa ukus sa nukus
Sa'aknusu.
saat yusu borun pat naumun.
غرفة النوم. Mhm.
وماذا ستفعل يا أحمد؟
سأكون what?
Ar-Razzaq.
سأغسل الملابس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا لطيفة؟
سأكون ملابس.
وأنا سأغسل الأطباق وأنا سأقرأ القرآن.
All right. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to take this next week. So let's move to completing our this discussion last week, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. What was the last hadith we were discussing about, everybody? Who can remind us?
Hadith number 5.
Hadith number 5. Yeah, Irfan, what is the hadith talking about? Yeah, Tahmid, concentrate and leave your phone.
I don't remember.
Hey, Hanif, what is the hadith talking about?
I don't remember as well.
What about you, ya Tahmid?
I don't remember.
Marzouk?
I remember.
Farid? I don't remember. Okay, Grandma.
It's about like if anybody bring anything after
Innovation.
Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we don't.
من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. فهو رد. فهو رد. Why you guys, why is it that you guys don't have books that you jot? Huh? It's not as if you memorize immediately. I say things. So you need to jot book, you need to jot something on the book. Is that ideal? Huh?
Yeah.
What did you say, Hanif?
I said yes.
It is ideal that you don't have a book to jot. You have a jotter.
Oh wait, what? No.
So I encourage each and every one of you, please, from tomorrow, come with a note that you will jot. Understood?
Okay.
So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're talking about the Hadith 5 of An-Nawawi's collection. عن أم المؤمنين أم عبد الله عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من أحدث إن هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. وفي رواية من عمل عملا ليس عليه أمرنا فهو رد. We said this hadith was related by Aisha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is also known as al-Mu'mineen. Why is she called al-Mu'mineen?
Because she's the most important woman in Islam.
Okay, another answer?
Because she, what's it called? Because she narrated a lot of the hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
She was one of the most knowledgeable women in Islam.
What did you say?
She was one of the most knowledgeable women in Islam.
Good. Another answer. Final answer. She is called Ummul Mu'mineen because she's the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are Ummul Mu'mineen, Ummahatul Mu'mineen, Tahmid and Irfan. Allah says, wa ummahatuhum, wa azwajuhu, the memorizer of the Quran. Wa azwajuhu, what did Allah say?
وأزواجهم أمهاتكم.
Oh.
Azwajuhu ummahatuhum. Wa azwajuhu ummahatuhum. So from there, we deduce that all the wife of the Prophet sallam are the mothers of the believers. And Abdullah, she's called Abdullah. Why is she called Abdullah?
Because the Prophet's son.
Did she give birth to Abdullah?
No.
Okay. She took up Abdullah because that's one of the beloved names to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the hadith generally is telling us that whoever invents something new, whoever innovates something new in this religion of ours, whoever brings up a new, a new religious action and activity, merely which was never part of it, فَهُوَ رَدٌّ. Okay? Whoever innovates something new in this affair of ours, which is never part of it, فَهُوَ رَدٌّ. And it also says, "Man amila tahmid." Are you feeling sleepy? Man amila laysa alayhi amruna. Whoever does an act which our affair is not in conformity with it, for who are it is going to find it rejected. So what about during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ride a car? Was the masjid, do they have rods in the masjid? Did the Prophet ﷺ in the masjid, did they use microphone for adhan, and so on and so forth? Guys.
No.
So is that not, doesn't that mean that we have invented things now? And also during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, does the Prophet ﷺ teach the Sahaba with Zoom and so on and so forth? Do they come in class and sit like this? And so haven't we invented something new now?
But
No,
you're allowed to.
It's not.
What did you say?
It's not an innovation.
It's not an
Why?
Because it's not
What was
interfering with the religion of Islam. Like,
Okay, somebody has an answer. Why is it not an innovation? Why is that not considered an innovation?
It doesn't contradict anything that Allah or the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught.
And it's not adding anything to the religion.
Okay. It is not adding anything. How is it not adding anything to the religion? But the Prophet never used
using technology, bro.
Because
what did you say?
The Prophet ﷺ never had a phone.
Yeah. We today now even some even read Quran from the phone.
The phone, yeah.
Ibadah on the phone, they do all this on the phone. All right. The simple answer to this is number one from the hadith, man ahdatha fi amrina, in our affair, in our religious activity. Now, we are talking about religious affair, things that are an act of religion. Fi amrina hada, whoever brings a new act of worship into Islam, which was never, because an act of the basic fundamental of act of worship is that it is not allowed. Anything that constitutes act of worship, that is an act of worship in of itself, is not allowed until it has been sanctioned by the Quran and the Sunnah. So all of these things, so whoever innovates things of that nature into the religion of Islam, whoever innovates something of that nature into the religion of Islam, which was never a part of it, is going to find it what? Rejected. So, but all these technologies we are talking about, these are means, all right? These are means, technological means by which we use them to, do things that that are already established in the religion. That is not us adding something to the religion, because the use of microphone itself, the use of our phones, the use of Zoom is not the act of religion itself. It's not the act of worship itself, right? So we are using it to enhance the things that have been established, even though there is still a what is it called? There have to be a guideline to that. All right, that can it's not they have to be a moderation to our usage of technology when it comes to in enhancing things in the region and so on and so forth. So technology can't, all technology can't enter everything that has to do with act of worship and so on and so forth. So we can't say because now we have is it 3D or what do they call it, and now since you can have a Mecca experience from sitting in the studio in your room, and for that you want to just wear the glass and perform Hajj from the corner of your room.
No.
You know the technology I'm talking about, the game.
Yeah, Scooter.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So if the Mecca, if a game like Mecca is like Kaaba and all that has been invented, I don't know. So you can't just you can't say because of that you want to sit down in your room and you wear ihram and say I'm performing Umrah. Like that's not possible. So there is moderation to that. However, in general, these things are means technological advancement. They are means by which, so we are not innovating things, because whoever innovates something new, that's an act of religion, an act of worship, and so on and so forth. Man amila amalan, whoever does an action, laysa alayhi amruna, which is not part of the religion. So the religion is what we are talking about now. The religious act itself. So the use of microphone is not the religious act itself. So, and so on and so forth. And as long as technology benefits us and also helps us to enhance things in the region, and there is no extremism in that, that is permissible, that is okay, and that is not what it is meant here. Now, last week we said any action, before it can be considered as act of worship, which is acceptable by Allah, has two conditions. What are those conditions? Can you remember?
I thought it was.
You said the question again?
We said there are two conditions to act of worship. Can you guys drop your phone and concentrate? There are two conditions to act of worship.
Intention.
Good intention and what?
Sincerity.
Yeah, intention, sincerity. So that's sincerity is what we mean by intention. Actually, the second one
It has to be done.
is a conformity of the action with the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So those are the two conditions of act of worship: the conformity of our action with the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Are you with me, everyone? Yeah. So now we said, when it comes to innovation of new actions in Islam, we have to look at it from 6 angles. From 6 angles. So if any of those angles is problematic, then we can easily know that, oh, this act of worship or this act is not acceptable. So, and an acceptable act must be looked at from 6 angles. So, and we took, I think, 4 last week. We said an action must be in conformity with the Sharia in its what? Which is the first one?
And its purpose.
Huh?
Purpose.
In its purpose. Who can give us an example of that?
Um,
Hmm?
Can you repeat the question again?
What's an example of something in its
So we said an action has to be in conformity with the Sharia in its purpose. So which means a person must not do something and attach a new purpose. A person should not attach a new purpose to an act of ibadah, from his own desire. For example, now you should say that now every time I enter my house, I'll be doing 2 rakats every time I enter my house. And and in your mind you attach a particular virtue to doing 2 rakah when a person enters the house, whereby there is nothing of such. Yeah, you can do 2 rakah at any time as long as it's not the prohibited time for salah. And also your 2 rakah sometimes it could be coincidental to when you enter your house. That's okay. But for you to have that mapped out, that every time I enter my house there's a 2 rakah I have to pray. So that's more like you bringing in something new, that there is a 2 rakah the person has to pray whenever they enter the house. Is that clear?
Yes.
So if you pray your 2 rakah, and sometimes it falls in, when for example you are somebody who prays Salatul Duha, and one day or sometimes when you enter the house, maybe you go on gym in the morning. By the time you enter the house, it's time you want to pray Duha, you just go and freshen up, then pray. So this is coincidental. This is not you actually mapping it down that me entering the house is the purpose for praying the 2 rakah. Is that clear now?
yes.
So, and we also said an action must be in conformity with the Sharia in its what? In its type. In its type. So a contradiction to that is when a person said, I'm going to slaughter us for Eid al-Adha. So Eid al-Adha, we know the slaughtering the animals that we are asked to slaughter, and us is not part of them. So you can't go out of that and say you want to slaughter us for Eid al-Adha. So that is you inventing new affair into the established religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So another thing is أن يكون العمل موافقا للشريعة في القدر. So the quantity the Sharia has specified in a particular action, we must not change it. So if a person now says that, oh, now maybe during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there was shortage of water, but now we have abundance. So we shouldn't be performing ablution 3 times. We shouldn't be washing the part of the body 3 times. We should make it 4, 5. In this sense, we are going to tell him that no, you have invented something new to the religion of Allah. Then it shall be rejected. The religion is established already. What was never a religion will never be religion. What was never a religion during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the pious predecessors will never become a religion afterwards. And أن يكون العمل موافقا للشريعة في الكيفية. An action has to be in conformity with the Sharia in its way of doing, in its manner of doing. So if the Sharia has given us the particular way of doing something, you can't come and change it and tell us that no, that is then. Now we have to change it, we have to do it in another way. Except the Sharia itself gives room for changing that thing or gives us different ways to do that thing. So for example now, For example, when we want to pray, we stand, then we ruku', then we sujood. Then we go to ruku', then we go to sujood. If somebody says, first of all, I'm going to go to sujood, then come back to ruku', that's the way I want to be doing my own. Man, that's wrong. That's another thing. That's another invention you are bringing in. If somebody say, I'm going to do sa'i before tawaf when I want to go for umrah, we're not gonna say no. That's not what the Prophet ﷺ do. So the Prophet ﷺ didn't do that. If somebody say, for me, I'm going to what is it called? I'm going to what is it called? So other examples, for example, كذلك لو توضأ منعكسا. For example, now the part of wudu that we do. If somebody says, for me, I'm going to start by washing the leg first, then after that wash my hand, then after that wash my head, then after that wash my face. That's how I want to be doing my own wudu. We are going to tell you that no, the way of doing ablution, the manner at which ablution should be done is already established by the Prophet ﷺ. It cannot be changed. So our act has to be in conformity with the Sharia in its purpose, in its type, in its quantity, in its manner of how it's been done. And also, an act has to be in conformity with the Sharia in its time, in its specified time. All salah has a specified time. Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. There is a time for Ramadan. Ramadan fast is in the month of Ramadan. You cannot say, oh, wait, I'm going to fast my own Ramadan in Muharram, inshallah. When Ramadan comes, you say, no, I'm not going to fast. Don't worry, in Muharram, I'm going to fast. No. And I'm even going to fast 50 days, not 30 days. We are going to tell you, you are wrong. That's another thing you are bringing in, and it's not going to be accepted from you. If you ask, are you the one who is going to accept that thing? Or you say, the Prophet ﷺ is the one who said so. Whoever does something new, invent another act, and put it in Islam, for who arad, that was never part of it, is going to be rejected. So this is we reinforcing the word of the Prophet. Now, the last thing we have to look at in action is that أن يكون العمل موافقا للشريعة في المكان. An action has to be in conformity with the Sharia in its place. So you cannot perform Umrah until you come to Mecca. You cannot perform Hajj until you come to Mecca. It's not possible for you to go to Morocco or Egypt and you say you want to perform Umrah there. It's not possible for you to go to the pyramid of Egypt because it's the shape. It has four angles, four sides. It has four sides. So I can perform Umrah there since the Kaaba also has four sides. No. The place of Umrah and Hajj has been specified by the region when the Prophet ﷺ was alive. So nothing changes that. Is that clear? So
Yeah.
now, so all these six things are what we have to look at when we are looking at in terms of our acts of worship or our actions in Islam. So if any action contradicts all these six things in the way it has been established in Islam, then such an action is going to be rejected. The Sheikh said, وَهَذَا مِنْ أَمْثِلَةِ عَلَى جُمْلَةٍ مِنَ الْأُمُورِ الْمَرْدُودَةِ لِأَنَّهَا مُخَالِفًا لِأَمْرِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So the Sheikh wants to bring some examples of some actions that are common, which contradicts the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one, وَمَنْ بَاعَ أَوْ اشْتَرَى بعد الأذان الثاني من يوم الجمعة وهو ممن تجب عليه الجمعة فعقده باطل لأنه مخالف لأمر الله. Now, whoever buys or sells, whoever transacts after the adhan of Juma has been called, the second adhan of Juma has been called, whoever buys or transacts anything at that time, a few seconds please.
Yeah, or in the car. So let's go shopping for camera.
Now, as I was saying, everyone, so if after the second adhan of Salatul Jum'ah, after the second adhan of Salatul Jum'ah, that Imam has came to the member and says Salaam alaikum, and the Muaddin says the adhan, anything a person buys at that time or sells, that transaction Islamically is null and void. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded that when the adhan for Jum'ah has been called, إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الْجُمْعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ. When the second adhan for Jum'ah has been called, rush and hasten to the remembrance of Allah, hasten to the Salatul to the Jum'ah, to the Imam Khutbah, then wait for Salah as well, and leave everything that has to do with buying and selling. So any buying and selling that occurs at this time by somebody who Jum'ah is compulsory upon, then such buying and selling is going to be null and void. So another example is now the Prophet ﷺ has told us, La nikaha illa biwali. There is no marriage except by the guardian. You know, the marriage is not correct except by the sanctioning of the guardian of the woman. So if a person now goes and marry a woman without the guardian of the woman knowing or having the knowledge, such a marriage is going to be null and void in front of Allah. Islamically, such a marriage is not correct, and both of them are regarded as, you know, more of committing zina with each other. They are not regarded as married couples because the marriage has been done without the consent of the guardian of the woman. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Another example. If a person prays, we have forbidden time for prayer. There are forbidden times for prayer. You know, we after Salatul Asr till the sun sets, and if concentrate in the sunset is a forbidden time for prayer. And after the sunrise till the beginning of this after the dawn rise till the beginning of the sunset is also a forbidden time for prayer. And also after the sun positions itself at the middle until it shifts, it's also a forbidden time for prayer. Inshallah, we're going to learn this extensively in our fiqh. All this, the forbidden time for prayer Islamically, if a person now chooses that time to pray without a cause, of course, if there is a reason for you to pray at that time, maybe you miss Salatul Asr now. You wouldn't say because the time for forbidden prayer has started, you won't repay your Salatul Asr and so on and so forth. You have to pray that. So without a reason, if a person chooses to pray,
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So if a person chooses the forbidden time for prayer and start praying at that time without any reason, such an act is going to be rejected because they have chosen time that has not been permitted for them to pray. Another example is Sawm Rajulun Eid al-Fitr. One of the days by which, and they are also forbidden days for fasting. They are days that we must not fast. For example, day of Eid. A person should not fast on the Eid day. And also, a person should not fast alone on Friday alone, except you're going to fast Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so on and so forth. So if a person chooses to fast on Friday, to fast on Eid al-Fitr, say Ramadan has ended, but me, I'm not, I enjoy Ramadan. I'm going to fast on the day of Eid as well. We are going to tell them, stop wasting your time, because the Prophet ﷺ have said, "Man ahdatha fi amrina ma laysa minhu fahuwa rad," or "Man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna fahuwa rad." Whoever does an action that is not in the religion, or that has been prohibited, and it is going to find it rejected. So you fasting on the day of Eid because you love fasting is an action which is not part of the religion, and you are going to find it rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another example is رجل حج بمال مكسوب بأن غصب بعيرا وحج عليها فالحج صحيح وهذا لكنه آثم بغصب. There is a question the Sheikh asked. He said, if a person steals a cloth, a clean cloth, of course, a cloth which is pure, there is no najasa, and the person prays in that cloth, will the prayer of the person be accepted? What do you think? Hanif, what do you think? A person steals a clothes in the mall. A person goes to the mall and picks a clothes without paying, intentionally run away and wears that clothes to the masjid and pray.
Stealing.
No, I don't think.
What do you say?
No.
What is no? I don't understand.
You asked. You asked. Do you think if do you think the prayer would be accepted? I said no.
Okay, fine. Another answer? Does another person has another answer?
I have the same answer.
Okay. Now, did you guys remember when we were taking al-wudu, and we said a person who perform, we said among the container, a golden container is prohibited for a Muslim to use. Did you remember?
Yes.
And we said if a Muslim performs ablution in a golden container, would that ablution be regarded as correct?
No.
Even though they perform ablution in a golden container, and they perform ablution very well with clean water and all stuff. Yeah, the ablution is correct, and the ablution, there is nothing wrong with the ablution, because they fulfill all the conditions for ablution, which is pure, clean water, intention, and performing ablution in the right way. All right. So why do we say the ablution is not null and void? It is correct. It is because the type of the container you use is not a condition of if the ablution is correct or not. Okay, that is another thing entirely. The type of container you use, if it is gold, if it is silver, if it is pale, it is another thing entirely. So this person is going to have his ablution correct, however, sinful for using the golden what? The golden container. Is that clear?
Yes.
So the same thing for a person who prays in a stolen cloth. As long as they fulfill all the conditions for prayer, they cover their private parts, they purify themselves, the cloth is pure, the place is pure, their body is pure, everything is pure, and there is no other thing. They fulfill all the conditions. Their salah is going to be correct. However, they are sinful because part of the condition is not that you have to use a particular cloth. So stealing the clothes is another thing entirely. I'm praying, as long as the condition that relate to clothes in your prayer is that your clothes has to cover your aura. So as long as you are wearing a cloth that covers the aura, your salah is not, there's no problem with your salah. But you are sinful for what? The person is sinful for the stolen cloth. Is that clear now? And which can of course affect the reward of the prayer. But the prayer itself is what is correct. We won't say the person should pray the prayer again. No, because they have done what they are supposed to do. Is this clear now?
Yes.
The same thing for somebody who stole money to go to Hajj. Somebody who stole money to go to Hajj. Scholars say this person is sinful by stealing another person's money, but the Hajj is going to be correct. Even though that may reduce the reward of the Hajj, that is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the person is sinful with their action of stealing money, and the money is on the person's neck. They have to return it back to the owner. And if he does not return it and dies, the person is going to collect it on the day of judgment if he could not return it in this world. So, is that clear now? So now, a general, what is it called? A general principle we learn from this hadith is that the Sheikh said, فَلَوْ أَنَّ رَجُلًا تَعَبَّدَ لله عز وجل وأنكر عليه إنسان فقال ما الدليل على أنه حرام فالقول قول المنكر فيقول الدليل أن الأصل في العبادات المنع والحظر. The basic fundamental in anything that has to do with act of worship is prohibition. Anything that has to do with act of worship, the basic fundamental, the basic rule is that it is prohibited. Any act of worship, except an act of worship that Allah and His Messenger was sanctioned. So anything you consider as act of worship, it's prohibited. It is not acceptable, except if that thing is what is sanctioned by the Sharia. However, any other thing that does not have to do with act of worship, that has to do with our lifestyle, our buying and selling, social life, our any other thing that has to do with transaction, that has to do with eating, that has to do with drinking, that has to do with wearing. Every other thing which we know as al-mubahat, or which we know as al-mu'amalat, the basic rule is that they are something that is what? That prohibits it in the Quran or in the Sunnah. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can anyone repeat that what I just said?
Whatever you think is an act of worship is not an act of worship unless it is sanctioned by Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay. The second part of the principle is what?
If anything, it is prohibited.
We said anything that has to do with acts of worship, the basic rule is that it is prohibited until sanctioned by Allah and His Messenger. And anything that has to do with our normal life, our lifestyle generally, out of worship, transactions, selling and buying, our eating, our drinking, our wears, our ride, so nobody will come and tell you now that what is the evidence for using using a phone? I'm going to ask you, what is the evidence that prohibits using a phone? So because you cannot ask me what is the evidence for using a phone, because anything that has to do with lifestyle out of act of worship, the basic rule is that they are permissible until we find something in the Quran or the Sunnah that prohibits it. All right. But if somebody tells you that when you wake up in the morning, do Subhanallah 35, in the afternoon do Alhamdulillah 39, you should ask that what is the evidence? Why? Because that is an act of worship. The basic rule of an act of worship is that it is not permissible until it is sanctioned by the religion, by the Quran and the Sunnah. So anybody that is telling you about an act of worship should give you an evidence. But if it is not an act of worship, any other thing outside that, okay, it is permissible until we find something that prohibits it in the Quran and the Sunnah. When is how many minutes to Salah?
Like
20. 20.
What did you say?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay. So basically we say ما علمنا أن الشرع شرعه من العبادات فيكون مشروعا. Anything we know in the Sharia that the Sharia sanctioned, which is an act of worship, then it is part of the Sharia. Anything and any act of worship with the Sharia sanction is accepted as an act of Sharia. And anything that the Sharia prohibits in the Quran or in the Sunnah is what? Is not acceptable, it is not regarded. And anything that the Sharia never mentions in an act of worship, anything the Sharia does not mention as an act of worship is not permissible to be done as an act of worship. Is that clear? So if somebody is coming to tell you about an act of worship, now you need an evidence. So anything the Sharia does not mention as an act of worship is not an act of worship. Okay? An act of worship is only what the Sharia mentions as an act of worship. And also, anything the Sharia does not prohibit, which has to do with lifestyles, transactions, our eating, our drinking, and so on and so forth, is permissible, except what the Sharia prohibits for us. Inshallah, we're going to stop here so you guys can prepare for Salah and be in the first row. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Anyone has a question?
No.
All right. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Where's it? Yeah, let's go.